California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors.
So California tied for the highest unemployment rate in the country, okay? So while he is on a daily, I've not seen him attack Trump, DeSantis, anybody on the Republican side the way he's been attacking the last couple weeks. Very aggressive the way he's been doing.
Just now, the most unlikely tag team politically defeated Gavin Newsom. Nothing was safe. This was not just criticism. Greg Gutfeld's razor-sharp comedy and Patrick Bet-David's caustic facts deep-fried and served his legacy, from California's trash fire restrictions to his presidential daydreams on a silver platter of sarcasm. In this demolition, laughter was the wrecking ball. They simply made it into a meme. If smug had a face.
So last week, Newsom said he hopes the conservative Supreme Court will overturn the current law that bans his state from removing out-of-control homeless encampments. Imagine that. Well, what did you expect, Gavin? That the sanctuary seekers were going to show up in Winnebagos? Once again, another example of a high-profile lib using his big mouth to write a check his ass can't cash.
Let's talk about the number one state in unemployment, in homelessness, highest in taxes, and the one that keeps coming up with bad ideas.
Here, get the trophy ready.
California's $20 fast food minimum wage that they came up with, that everyone's like, oh my God, revolutionary. If California can do it, so can you.
You know you don't want to miss this, so before we continue, hit the like button and subscribe. The ad for California's Rowdy shampoo is still going strong. Somehow, government has become an Instagram filter thanks to Gavin Newsom, the man who appears to be a Marvel villain dressed as a Whole Foods clerk. 5 years ago, if smug were money, Newsom would have saved California, planted a vineyard on Saturn, and purchased Mars. Has he been concentrating on turning the Golden State into a scented cautionary tale rather than enlarging the universe?
Evil, then the Dems are now the party of disorder. Turns out the only system they had was wokeism, and it rotted any basic principles the party had to begin with. Which is why, like Gavin himself, they're left looking at 2028's hopes going up in flames. And this time, no one is going to help them put it out.
Even a monologue wasn't necessary for Greg Gutfeld. He placed a picture of Gavin Newsom next to the statistics on homelessness in California and let the uncomfortable silence do the talking. Patrick Bet-David attempted to use real math to describe Newsom's economic approach, but he paused in the middle and remarked, "You know what? Ignore the numbers. Imagine a piñata brimming with IOUs and shattered solar panels. Does California manage its budget that way?"
But according to a new Bloomberg News report, Newsom pushed for the bread exemption to help a longtime campaign donor, billionaire Greg Flynn, who happens to own a bunch of Panera Breads. Huh? I know. You know Panera. It's the sort of place you go to when the other option is a vending machine.
At one point, Gavin pledged to set California as the national model. So, mission accomplished. If the country wants to follow in the wake of a gas leak mixed with Botox procedures, while the rest of the state suffers from a post-apocalyptic Mad Max situation with oat milk lattes, the man manages the state like a billionaire's spa.
October 7th, up to 23 million Californians will begin to benefit from the nation's largest state tax refund, some $9.5 billion. The first round of these payments, up to $1,050, will be direct deposited to Californians, helping with rising costs from, the grocery store to the gas pump. We're doing our best to help offset rising costs.
Newsom responds to homelessness by holding a press conference, announcing a crisis, flashing a seemingly artificially generated smile that belonged to a yacht club donor, and then disappearing into a vineyard retreat with benefactors. Since then, San Francisco has been referred to as the biohazard by the bay instead of the city by the bay. He chuckled, "Bring pepper spray, hiking boots, and a waiver form if you want to tour the city. Are the paths less stable and more a sequence of poor choices?"
Check this out. So this is Newsom being asked about how did California go from a $100 billion surplus.
Can we explain to Californians how we moved from a $100 billion surplus to such a significant deficit in just a matter of a few years?
Well, it's, we can explain it. $349 billion of unprecedented capital gains, 11.6%, when traditional capital gains is around 5.18%
Gaslight.
on average.
What are you saying?
It's almost double.
Please have a look at this. Newsom is being questioned about how California's $100 billion surplus turned into such a large debt. Could we explain to Californians how we went from a $100 billion surplus to such a massive deficit so quickly? Yes, we can explain it. $349 billion in capital gains, or 11.6%, which is unprecedented compared to the norm of 5.18% for capital gains. Is it nearly double?
So can you. Well, before you try to be California with this $20 an hour minimum wage idea, watch these numbers closely. The $20 fast food minimum wage led to 18,000 fewer jobs. Weird. A National Bureau of Economic Research paper reported that California's $20 an hour minimum wage, enacted in September of 2023, effective in April of 2024, led to 2.7% employment decline.
According to Patrick, firms had become migratory birds under Newsom's leadership, heading south for the winter and never returning. Almost everyone has been competing for them, including Tesla, Oracle, and HPE, with the exception of In-N-Out. Someone whose main office was in Silicon Valley is most likely the owner of a lemonade company that now operates in Texas. Gavin attempted to be the creative governor of technology. As though he were making it rain at a vegan strip club, he flung money at green energy initiatives, tweeted climate hashtags, and posed with EVs. The results were wind-powered nonsense, even if the image was generated by solar energy. Pay attention to rolling blackouts. Again, keep an eye out for unusually high energy costs. There are also fires in the forests. For his climate moral signaling, Newsom used them as dramatic background music. He most likely said, "Look at all these fires, evidence that I'm so concerned that I'll burn the state down to prove my point."
Or no spot shadow. What exactly is he trying to say here, huh? Is it a mysterious form of sign language for morons? Is he conveying some secret code to terrorists? Is he signaling the Los Angeles Angels to steal third base? But I'm willing to bet that former Californians recognize those hand signals. They're the motions you make to back up a U-Haul as you flee that failed state and head to Texas.
Gavin Newsom took on the role of Emperor of Emergency Declarations during COVID. While everyone else was placed under lockdown, he was enjoying French laundry dinners. Under his leadership, California's businesses failed, schools spent more money with worse results, and crime turned into a pastime with Newsom discounts and smash and grabs. Gas costs soared while Walgreens locked up shampoo and renters paid organs for closets.
Gavin Newsom attacks Rick Grinnell for audacity to criticize fire recovery, claiming illegal migrants needed for rebuilding. Gotta love this guy. I mean, okay, so let's read Rick Grinnell's tweet first, Rob. Is that what he reacts to?
Yes, and I also have Gavin Newsom as
Okay,
well.
first go to Rick Grinnell's tweet. So in California, we live on the ocean, but our governor can't figure out how to get more water, so he spends millions of tax dollars telling people to not water their lawns and to take faster showers. We have 33 million acres of forest land, but our governor can't figure out how to properly remove dead trees.
Patrick Bet-David ridiculed absurd laws that punish store owners for self-defense, while Gavin retaliated with paintings and social workers. Gutfeld joked that Newsom deliberately exacerbates the situation by operating California in expert mode, much like SimCity. Even when Californians tried to recall him, his seat was secured by Hollywood money and elite support, but he returned unchanged.
Oh, shit, what are you talking about? This is like me telling your kid, your family, we have a father who's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Okay? He's no longer with us. He dies. You get $500 million. I get $500 million. Tom gets $500 million. Adam gets $500 million. We're 4 states. Your name is California. Your name is Texas. My name is Florida. And his name is Illinois, let's just say, right? 2 years later, my $500 million is still $500 million. Tom's $500 million is $1 billion. Adam's $500 million is $700 million. Your $500 million is now coming to me, Tom, and Adam saying, guys, I need $60 million.
Sure.
That's what he just did.
In Patrick's words, don't be shocked if your streetlight is replaced by a $20 million bike-powered artwork under Newsom. Even worse, he plans to spread his errors not only in California, but across the entire nation. Gutfeld questioned, is that a promise or a threat?
Observers for months, but Newsom told reporters it's just part of the sausage making of politics. So what's that mean, sausage making? We know it has nothing to do with Gavin cooking. He prefers dining out, especially when everyone else is locked down under threat of arrest. The phrase refers to the unpleasant way in which a process is carried out behind.
He can no longer be saved by the weather. Despite California's abundance of sunshine, Newsom managed to ruin it. He only needed exaggerated rhetoric and embezzled money to transform paradise into hell. If Newsom were in charge, Hawaii would be burning and insolvent in 6 months, and a new equity task force would need to look into the ash patterns, Gutfeld said. The ego must not be ignored. Gavin poses as though an unseen Vogue camera crew is pursuing him. As if it were a photo shoot, he smiles at catastrophe. He breaks the bad news as if it were a spa promotion. Newsom would be a stick figure if conceit were a means of burning calories, and the murmurs are getting louder now. As if starring in a dystopian documentary weren't enough, he's getting presidential nominations. Are we all at risk if this is a test run?
Here's why Dems lost.
We lost. We lost the popular vote, and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. And we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of issues with Israel? Was it all of the above? I think we are going through that forensic. We need to understand at the same time, we also have to push back against the whitewaters and headwinds of the Trump administration.
Don't let him bring that energy nationwide unless you're apologizing to your thermostat and your dream is $9 gas, Gutfeld added. Newsom's career is a cautionary tale fit for Gucci. He presents himself to politically deluded people like a lifestyle brand, rules like a saboteur, and preaches like a savior. He has turned into a magician who destroys common sense, leaving only devastation and a smug grin in his wake due to his ambition and lack of accountability. If he goes national, may the whole country be caught in the same California trap.